Richard Bernardo.
All right, Richard. And what is your ID, or did you have an ID?
Yeah, the government gave me an ID number. I was known as 73241.
Do you know, do you want anything about, can you give us any little details about where you were, the surroundings that you did?
Actually, I was in the underground basement somewhere in the desert. They were experimenting with me, enhancing drugs. It's really hard to say because as a kid, I had a lot of nightmares, and I could see things, predict things, and they wanted to try to counteract that out of my mind by using these drugs.
And do you remember how often you were given drugs, or how many different types of drugs?
They were giving me like 4 to 6 shots a day for about 3 months straight, experimenting, trying to capture thoughts in my dreams, and it's just like I was pretty much under their will. I mean, I had no freedom with this government.
Now, were you the only one, or were there others that you can recall?
There were 8 of us, but as far as I know, 3 of us got away. I was one of the 3. The other 2, I have no idea where they're at right now.
And
Okay.
you okay? Do you need
Yeah, I
some
gotta
water?
hit it. It's just like these drugs just affected my pressure, my blood pressure, and it's just like
And how have you been off of the drugs? How
yeah,
has it been?
it's been about a year and a half now. But it's like it seems like it's like I can withdraw from it now. I don't know. They put a lot of codeine in this drug.
So, when you were a kid, if you can remember back, what kinds of things were you seeing in your nightmares? Because you had nightmares on a daily basis. Is that
Yes,
true?
correct.
What types of things were you seeing?
Well, I was predicting future events, like deja vu stuff, and pretty much, I was predicting earthquakes, hurricanes, and which were really happening, like maybe 2 years forward. The stuff that I dreamed at that time, 2 years, it actually happened. Like I dreamt in '84 about the '86 quake. I dreamt in '92 about the '94 earthquake in Northridge. And it just, the government found that out to be intriguing. And they pretty much wanted to test.
All right, so how did it come about that the government found you?
Well, apparently I was brought up in an orphanage, and I guess the director of the orphanage thought that I had a special gift because of all these nightmares I've been having and predicting, and they were seeing what I was predicting was coming true. So the director approached the government, and the government, came and started asking me questions. Pretty much, the rest is history. Started, testing me. Like I said.
What's wrong?
I'm telling you these drugs that the government gave me, and like those nightmares when I was a kid, I've started seeing now in the daytime. They actually seem like real things.
Okay, so
I
it's
see
not
people.
a dream anymore. It's
It's like reality to me.
and are these things that are they also being events that are actually happening, or have you gotten to that point yet?
Some of them are, but they're just trying to predict too much for me. They're trying to, it got to the point where it's just like, I'm just trying to live now. These drugs are just overflowing my living. And like I said, I've been off it for a year and a half, but it seems like it's still in my system.
So what made you different than the other people that were in the laboratory?
Well, basically, I wasn't different than any other out. We're all gifted in every avenue. My specialty was predictions. I could see things before they happen.
So this isn't it's not in any particular area, right? It's all across the board from like a company stocks going up to murders happening.
Exactly.
And who's gonna be president, things like that.
Correct.
Now is it happening again? What about the others? What do you know about the others?
Well, they have us in special rooms. We never really communicated because they wanted to not share what our thoughts with each other because they might think that we might have a plan to get escape from that government project, which eventually we were allowed to get together actually once a week, to share, to communicate. Because basically we were like in solitary confinement in that place. They only took us out when they need us. And excuse me, go ahead.
So what?
Can we stop right now? I can't go no more. My headaches again.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, we'll have to continue this later.
Right.